from where we are today, we've seen markets drop significantly. And markets that drop significantly could also give you the opportunity to see asset classes from stocks to crypto that are relatively lower, relatively cheaper, that you could have the ability to be able to get more and stack them. I want to share my rudiments on how I started to invest and things that you could actually do also so that you can start investing wherever you are. People always think that you start investing when you get promoted or when you get a larger amount of money, but investing is a byproduct of discipline. Investing is a byproduct of you starting and being faithful with what you have. So what I did when I was starting out was, from my salary, I made a decision that this certain amount will go to investing. My goal in that was to take risk, because my entire intention with it was just purely for investing. Even if it went to zero, even if it dropped, I wouldn't be scared because it was totally separate from my savings, it was totally separate from my insurance, it was totally separate also from my operational expenses. So I had a dedicated amount that I would put in for investment on a regular basis. I had fixed amounts that I would get from my employment, but as I always say, try to find something above and beyond your salary that will allow you to get variable earnings. Anytime I earned something on top of my salary, what I did was a larger portion of that, if I remembered properly, around 70% to 80% of that, I invested. My entire narrative on why I invested most of it, because I made sure that from my salary, whatever I got on a regular basis was enough to pay for my needs, to pay for my wants. It was enough also to give me savings, a little bit of savings, and it was enough also to keep me invested. And at that point also, I also allocated certain portions that I could give and be a blessing also to other people as well. So I had that covered already. So given that I was already trying to be faithful with what I had, regardless of how small of an amount that was, whatever I got as an additional, I ultimately wanted to invest it. So the more I got, I positioned myself also that I would enjoy certain portions of it, but not a very, very big portion. It was just 10%. Then a certain portion I would use also to give and to be a blessing to people. But above and beyond that, I use most of it to invest. And it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made, because people don't realize this, that for you to have something that will grow, it has to start with you being diligent. It has to start with you being faithful and disciplined in putting in amounts of money on a regular basis to build a base. At that time also, I wasn't really hell-bent on what asset class it would be put into. Even when I actually started, I was just thinking about mutual funds, equity funds. At that particular point in time, my first investment was a balance fund. I wasn't really nitpicking, should it go to this stock, should it go to this asset, should it go to this. I wasn't really looking at it from that perspective. What was important for me was that I was putting a small amount of money on a regular basis, and that every time I would actually get more, that I would just put in over and over and over and over and over. And that's what I want to challenge you, to everyone watching this. The name of the game, the goal in all of this, is that you start putting a specific amount of money from your salary that you could put in as an investment. But aside from that, as you start to earn more, I'm a firm believer of creating multiple streams of income. As you get multiple streams of income, you use a large portion of that to invest. Especially if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'm in my 20s and whatever I get isn't as much. Please play the long game. Why? If you start putting small amounts of money into your investment and play the long game, just think about it. If you're doing it at 22 years old, 23 years old, and you do it for a decade, by the time you hit 33, 34, 35, what you started to put in isn't just significant volume, but it has already appreciated, or at least it has given you the chance to actually grow. And what's interesting about that is, from where we are today, we've seen markets drop significantly. And markets that drop significantly could also give you the opportunity to see asset classes from stocks to crypto that are relatively lower, relatively cheaper, that you could have the ability to be able to get more and stack them. But not just that, similar to the videos that I've mentioned, that it has given you the ability to be able to buy things at a cheaper price. It has given you the ability to buy things at a rate where a lot of people, when things are scary, they don't want to invest. Your goal is just to put in a regular amount at a regular basis and build the discipline. And what's interesting about that is, if you come in, you start investing, even if markets drop, it should be okay, because you have another amount that you could put in next month, could have another amount that you could put in the next 2 months, next 3 months, next 4 months. And what's interesting about that is when times are good, you get to buy lesser because it's more expensive. When times are bad, similar to what's happening right now, you get to stack and get larger amounts of either shares or tokens, or you get to get really good deals in real estate that you could buy at cheaper prices. When you're younger, a lot of people your age would want to enjoy the money that they have. A lot of people your age would want to just spend and just do stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I want you to realize is this: if you want to achieve and get something different, then you must do the things that are different and opposite as compared to what everyone else is doing. Because if you do what everyone else is doing, then you will end up also like everyone else. If you do the opposite as compared to what everyone is doing, saving, being disciplined, being diligent, putting a regular amount on a regular basis, doing the hard things, doing the boring things, please do remember, saving a regular amount of money, investing a regular amount of money, setting aside money that you will use for a future goal isn't something that's exciting, because people want to buy stuff, people want to enjoy stuff, people want to spend on things that are tangible, on things that people can see. People always attach what they can buy, the car, the house, the clothes, the bags, to success or how people would outwardly see them. But what I want to submit to you is you don't need all of that. You don't need to spend right now to make people feel or believe that you're successful, that you're rich, because the name of the game is, what's truly rich is you have assets. What's truly rich is you have freedom. What's truly rich is that where you are right now, you get to develop and build a base and put in bits and pieces already that will set you in a position to be financially free, that will set you in a position that you can live the life that you want based on the goals that you want. And what's interesting about that is we all have different goals. Some people like to travel the world, some people want to start more businesses, some people would want to have just massive farms, some people would just want to do as much as possible, just continue building, just continue saving, just continue to set aside specific amounts of money that you can put in, and that specific amounts of money on a regular basis will grow as you start building a base. So that's how I did it. I set a specific amount of money from my salary. Every time I got extra, I put in more, and I invested a larger portion of that as well. I hope you guys got a lot from this. I hope that this was something that was valuable to all of you. I hope that this gave you enough insight also in terms of investing. Because at the end of the day, that's all I want. That's the whole narrative of making videos like this, to be able to give you as much insight as possible so you can invest. And I want you to get this, that the entire narrative of investing isn't get rich quick, it's get rich right. It's about loving the process. It's about being diligent and doing the boring things done repeatedly over the long term that will make your money grow for you. So this is Marvingermo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.